Good day, everyone. I am Sydney Charina de la Torre Yangson from Bachelor of Science in Social Work 1B. So for today, I will be discussing about Renaissance art, Mannerism, Baroque and Rococo, and Neoclassicism. So let's start. So first, what is Renaissance art? During the Renaissance period, artists valued the individual as subject of arts. The influence of humanism shifted the focus of some artworks during the Renaissance period to empower the individual. Most artworks emphasized naturalism, which was also an influence of humanism since there was a great emphasis on the proportionality of the human body. Renaissance basically means rebirth or revival, and it was first used during the 19th century to describe all artistic outputs produced in the 15th to 17th centuries. So here are the examples of Renaissance art. David. This sculpture is an example of how humanism was a dominant belief system during the Renaissance. There is emphasis on the details of the body of the human being. David is a masterpiece of Renaissance sculpture created from 1501 to 1504 by Michelangelo with a height of 5.17 meters. The David was the first colossal marble statue made in the early modern period following classical antiquity, a precedent for the 16th century and beyond. The next example is the Last Supper. The Last Supper is a mural painting by the Italian High Renaissance artist Leonardo da Vinci, dated to 1495 to 1498, housed in the refectory of the convent of Santa Maria del Grazie in Milan, Italy. So the painting represents the scene of the Last Supper of Jesus with the 12 apostles, as it is told the Gospel of John, specifically the moment after Jesus announces that one of his apostles will betray him. During the Renaissance period, there was also a revival of Roman theatrical plays. These plays were performed during the special occasions of the courts of Italian princes. The plays were done in such a way that showcased grand and lavish entertainment for the audience. Aside from the song and dance numbers, they invested in elaborate stages and costumes for the actors. Eventually, this would lead to Italy's opera, which have greatly influenced their tradition of popular theater. So next is the Mannerism. Mannerism was a period in art history which was a product of Renaissance period. During the Renaissance, artists would observe nature and try their best to emulate it based on their observations. As the Renaissance ended, artists started directly copying subjects from existing works of art. Most artworks during this period displayed distorted figures, two-dimensional spaces, discordant hues and colors, and lack of defined focal point. So Mannerism from the word maniera, which means manner or style, artistic style that predominated in Italy. From the end of the High Renaissance in the 1520s to the beginnings of the Baroque style around 1590. The Mannerist style originated in Florence and Rome and spread to the northern Italy and ultimately to much of Central and Northern Europe. The term was first used around the end of the 18th century by the Italian archaeologist Luigi Lanzi to define 16th century artists who were the followers of major Renaissance masters. So the example of Mannerism is Madonna with the long neck. In Parmigiani's Madonna with the long neck, 1534 to 1540, Mannerism makes itself known by elongated proportions, high stylist poses, and lack of clear perspective. So next is the Baroque and the Rococo. The term Baroque is derived from the Portuguese term Barroco, which is translated as irregularly shaped pearl. This is a suitable description that Rome was the birthplace of the Baroque period, which according to some historians was a response to Protestantism. This period roughly spanned from 16,000 to 1750. So although it was a period following the Renaissance, it can be said that a lot of artists have developed styles and techniques different from their Renaissance predecessors. So, dito sa Baroque and the Rococo, no, are the most artists uses colorful palettes and ornamentation in their works. So this was a time when Italy in particularly strengthened not only their religion but also other aspects like politics and art. Expansion was the central theme of this period, which became very much evident in the artworks produced during this time. Motion and space were taken into consideration by artists like the use of dramatic lighting and the concept of time. So the example of the Baroque and the Rococo is the Assumption of the Virgin, a painting by a Titian located at Venice, Italy. The biblical event in the painting shows how the Baroque period reverted to having religious subjects in their works. So the Assumption of the Virgin Mary are popularly known as the Assunta. So it's a large altarpiece panel painting in the oils by the Italian Renaissance artist Titian's, painted in 1515 to 1518. So, makikita rin natin ito siya sa mga simbahan like sa cathedral or sa Rosary Heights. So, may makikita ka na ganitong painting na Assumption of the Virgin Mary. So, next is the Neoclassicism. So, there seems to be a debate among historians as to the beginnings of modern art. There are accounts that would attribute for the emergence of this kind of art during the French Revolution and 1789. However, other historians claim that it was the year 1863 when there was an emergence of modern painting exhibition. So, Neoclassicism was a movement in Europe that transpired during the late 18th and early 19th centuries. It was the dominant art movement at that time, which basically aimed to revive and rekindle the influences of Greek and Roman into art and architectures. The ancient Greek and Europeans had placed emphasis on the human reason and keeping society in order. So again, good day. That's all for my reporting. So I hope you understand and thank you for watching.